Agenda review, disposition, anything to add to tonight's agenda?
No, I will need the non-public session. We have co-curricular nominations for late winter, early spring.
Entertain a motion to accept the minutes of the January 8th, 2018 meeting.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And entertain a motion to accept the minutes of January 24th, 2018.
So moved.
In favor? Okay. Privilege of the floor, one. Anybody willing to speak yet? All right, principal's report, Julie.
Awesome. We have had a lot of arts and culture in January. Our community members and parents of some alumni of Plymouth Elementary School, Chris and Maggie Mumford, have been providing lodging for a student a cappella group, the Harvard Radcliffe Baritones, ever since their own son was part of that group. They emailed us and said they had room in their schedule for a visit and a performance at PES. So on Friday, the group performed to the primary wing, the intermediate wing, and then came back in the afternoon and performed for the middle school wing. They really connected with our students. They sang songs that the students recognized, like Radioactive, and it was wonderful to see as they introduced themselves and where they were from and what they were majoring in. Our students were captivated. It was a great moment for us. So a few of our students caught me in the hallway and said that they really wanted to go to Harvard, which I thought was actually very cool. So a huge thank you to the Mumfords for making this special performance happen. And then on Thursday, the next week, the week of the show, Dr. Trish Lindbergh and the cast of Hairspray gave PES students and staff a sneak preview of the vibrant and poignant play about segregation in the 1950s. Several PES students participated in the show, which is a great opportunity and a significant commitment. Students included Samantha Barnsley, Samantha Batchelder, Remington Cormier, Lola Fellows, Reese Hall, Ariane Lee, Rin Moriarty, Brandon Sanders, Parker Tyrell, Delaney Tulin, Johanna Wakefield, and fourth grader Robert Forts was actually part of the main ensemble. So it was a great performance. And again, so lucky to have it. We would like to congratulate the winners of the middle school spelling bee. It came down to 7th grader Matt Cleary and 8th grader Lydia Marinowski. And they went a few final rounds, and finally Lydia was the winner. The intermediate wing spelling bee included 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders, and the finalists included 2 3rd grade girls, Iris Lamoureux and Shelby McDonald, and with Shelby coming in first. The neat thing about the Iris and Shelby, as you know, they are good friends and we're practicing, I heard, on the bus back and forth, and I think it's going to be fun to watch those two challenge each other. And speaking of challenges, 7th grader Tim Ryan won the National Geographic Geography Bee for Plymouth Elementary School. He took the state qualifying test on Thursday, and we will know by March whether he qualifies for the state bee. And it's great exposure for our students. It's a very hard bee. So, last Thursday's concert of the grades 4 through 8 students was a beautiful celebration of music and community. Thanks to their training, our students were poised and performed with confidence and skill. I personally loved watching the radiant faces of the parents and the grandparents as they watched their students perform. Bravo to Mr. Stevens for giving our students the skills and direction to be part of such a special performance. And thank you to all the teachers who attended to help out with the supervision. It takes a team. Kathleen Smith, our reading specialist, provided wonderful accompaniment for both choruses. Some favorites included classics like Lean on Me, powerfully performed by the 4th and 5th grade choruses, and Banana Boat Song by the middle school chorus. And as always, the jazz band was outstanding, and the concert band nailed Ultimatum as a closing song. I just wanted to let you know that we started today, actually, started a partnership with the Plymouth State University Physical Therapy Program. Thank you, Kelly. Through observations and ergonomic assessments of classrooms, the graduate students will recommend strategies that promote wellness. The big picture is to put into practice habits that promote lifelong health and well-being. Thank you to Kelly Legacy and to Edie Kendall of PSU. The first classroom volunteers include first grade teachers, Mrs. McLeod, second grade, Mrs. Stokey, as well as sixth grade teachers, Mrs. O'Neill and Mrs. Greenler. Probably one of my favorite events on the principal's report was from the Economics Club. Last Friday, this is our 4th year of having the Economics Club here at Plymouth Elementary School. Last Friday, they gave a performance to business owners. Dr. Daniel Lee, a parent and professor of economics at PSU, has volunteered to serve as teacher and advisor to 10 highly motivated and interested middle school students. During January, the meeting, they meet each morning at 7:15 in the computer lab. Each year, Dr. Lee has students gather data that will be helpful to local businesses. This year, we have McDonald's, the Flying Monkey, and the Ashland Common Man. At Friday's events, representatives from each business attended to hear the findings. Students presented in teams of 2 and 3. Each had 5 slides of data to present. This year, they focused on big analytics, big data, and they used Google Maps to zoom in on customer reviews and likes, and then they would go through the reviews and zoom in on keywords and make some observations. So for McDonald's, for example, they zoomed in on time and food, and the manager of McDonald's said she receives a lot of information from corporate office, but this is actually really interesting data, different data to get back. So pretty impressive for 6th, 7th, and 8th graders to be learning this and presenting on this. Congratulations to our students who made the commitment to participate: Olivia Gauthier, Elliot Sargent, Logan Wiggett, Addie England, Leah Bison, Christine Kwan, Brennan Johnson, and Tim Ryan. Also in attendance were Selectman Mike Ahern and Bino LaMontagne from the New Hampshire Division of Economic Development. And of course, thank you to Dr. Lee for sharing his passion and purpose with our students. We had a full winter program this year. Starting in December, I think was helpful. And kindergarten through grade 5 had 5 half-day sessions, and the middle school had 3 half-day sessions. Beth Wilkie, media specialist, has done an amazing job coordinating this colossal program. She had great help from parents and teachers. Thanks to their organization and commitment, the program was a major success for our students. We see such growth over these weeks, and as a result, as well as enjoyment in some of New Hampshire's great winter outdoor pastimes. On Monday, January 29th, Plymouth Regional High School hosted an 8th grade move-up night for our students in the whole SAU 48. For students and for parents, this is a great night. Parents see firsthand how student and family friendly the high school is. The high school has so many co-curricular, literally something for everyone. This past Monday, representatives from the high school met with each of our 8th graders individually to help them make decisions for their 9th grade schedule. And last month, I know I mentioned the PSATs, and these are just the results from those, the overall results for our 8th graders. So our teachers feel like we did pretty well. This was the first time we took this very challenging assessment. 71% of our students met the benchmark overall. 81% met the evidence of reading and writing benchmark, and 74% met the math benchmark. So Our teachers looked over the individual results. Students had a chance to go back and see, match which questions they got right, and which ones they did not get right, and were able to zoom in on that. And then they're also, with the help of their parents, able to get on a program called Khan Academy to even delve deeper into how they can improve. So great, and I know some of our students are doing that, so it's really great. They enjoy the challenge. So. And last but not least, just today, thanks to Mrs. Lavasser, students in grades 3 through 8 had an interactive presentation with John Wallace, who is the Vice President of Dell Computers, who has recently retired to Thornton. In addition to the math and engineering that are needed, Mr. Wallace talked about how important it is to be team-oriented in coding. He was impressed how well-versed our students are with STEM as well as coding. And our students showed a very high interest, asking lots of questions about self-driving cars and different code language. So again, we've had a really great month with lots of good activities, extra activities. So,
Thank you.
Yeah.
Kelly?
Okay, so Mr. Underwood would like me to report on the athletic end that boys and girls 7th and 8th grade basketball teams will finish up their regular season games. They're home tonight versus Kingswood. On Tuesday, the girls play a solo game versus Holderness, and he just noted that both teams have played really well this season. Many of those athletes are continuing on with a lot of the travel teams, and will have an opportunity to compete in various tournaments, some of which include tournaments in Littleton, Lancaster, Farmington, Laconia, Hanover, and the Carp Classic in Lebanon, which is a big one. And of course, we finally have our grade 5 and 6 tournament starting this Thursday through Sunday. We've been talking about that. It's a fun chance for those younger players to compete in a tournament style format. Also a great opportunity for our 8th graders to work the event and raise some money for their Montreal trip. The students can sell tickets, they can work the scoreboard, keep the scorebook, and also help out in the concession area. So nice opportunity for them as well. The wrestling team has a meet this Thursday back at Runlet Middle School in Concord, and then they will prepare to close their season at their state championship on Sunday, February 18th. And our cross-country skiers this past weekend attended the Coaches Series race at Whitaker Woods in North Conway. And then their final races that they have coming up include Saturday, February 10th, back at Legacy Park in Bedford. February 17th, another Coaches Series at White Mountain Regional High School in Lancaster. And on Monday, February 19th, they have their middle school state meet, which is a little bit more local over at the Sandwich Fairgrounds. Our spring sports signups and physicals will be taking place soon. I know that our nurse, Kelly Zagopoulos, is getting dates organized for that. And we're kind of in that in-between season where the winter coaches are hoping that they have the snow long enough to last for their events, and the spring coaches are hoping that it all melts by early April for them to start their preseason. The other piece is, I'm not sure if you might have noticed when you were walking in the darkness, may not have, but we do have some of those classroom ID signs that have been placed up in our windows, and those have gone up in the primary wings and the intermediate wings, and the middle school and lower wings will be completed soon. And actually the cost of the signs ended up being a little bit less than the original quote, which was nice. And again, I'd like to thank our custodian, John Cormier. He took the time last Saturday to put those signs up through those other two wings for us. Did a nice job. Also to the Plymouth PD department for supplying us with all the proper information of where to place the signs on the windows. And obviously to all of you for supporting that and adding just another safety element here for the school. Thank you very much.
That's it. Any questions from here? No? Thank you very much. Consent items, claims and payroll, are all signed manifests? Correspondence?
Just what you have, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah. Which is enough. All right. Discussion items. 2018-19 school calendar.
Yes, contained in your packet is a proposed calendar for the next school year. Let me walk through the months. It's going to be a little bit different than the high school. The high school beginning school after Labor Day this year because of the construction project, but we're keeping the elementaries in a similar schedule to what we've had for the past few years. So we would start out with 3 teacher in-service days on August the 21st through the 23rd, and we would begin school on Monday, August 27th. 4 days the first week, and then a long weekend for Labor Day. That Friday, August 31st, and then Labor Day on September 3rd would be off days. September, pretty full month with 19 days. In October, Columbus Day, a day off, and then parent-teacher conferences would be the following Monday, and the teachers would be working, meeting with parents, but the kids would not be in school. There'd be 21 days. November, Veterans Day on Monday the 12th, and the Thanksgiving recess would be a full day off the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, and then the Friday, obviously, after Thanksgiving, so there'd be 18 days in November. In December, we would have half a day on Friday, the 21st, and then the full Christmas week, and we would be back in school on Wednesday, January 2nd. Martin Luther King holiday on the 21st. February, there'd be half a day with parent-teacher conferences on President's Day. Following week would be our annual winter break. That's a week after the Massachusetts holiday, so there's no conflict. March, 20 days. April, 17 days, with the break being the 4th week. Again, Patriots Day in Massachusetts is the 15th, so we're a week behind the Massachusetts folks. May, with 22 days, with the 27th off for Memorial Day, and without any winter weather, we would have a half a school day on Tuesday the 11th, and that would be the end of school, and the teachers would complete their contract on the 12th for 7 days. So it's, by our standards, it's a very routine calendar.
Any questions? Need a motion to approve this?
Yes, please.
Entertain a motion to approve the school calendar for next year?
So,
All in favor? Okay, good. That was easy. Okay, co-curricular nominations?
Yes, after a non-public session, I nominate some co-curricular folks after a review of the board.
And budget hearing preparation.
They're contained in your pink folders, the handouts for tonight at the budget hearing. The green sheet is a highlight sheet, very similar to what we used at the January meeting. The yellow sheet is a 10-year capital improvement plan, which highlights we actually need 8 of the moving petitions. We have 60,000 in the capital reserve, so I'm proposing that we do half of the movable petitions. John Francis knows the 4 that are in most need. Remove the 60,000 from capital reserve to pay for that, so there's no impact on the tax rate. And then from FY20 on, replace the other 4 as soon as possible. And then you can see the other projects over 10 years, recoat the roof, seal and paint the exterior, parking lot ceiling, middle school recess area, and also number 6, the greenhouse project, which has a sizable amount of money already raised. So, and that's not in order of importance or in order of which year we do what. Those are the things that are on the capital improvement plan. Goldenrod sheet is the FY19 staffing that's included in the budget, so that everybody knows exactly what positions are in there. There are no assignments in there, they're just positions for the board to determine, probably at your April meeting. Pink sheet is the school state tax rate impact, so folks can take a look at the percentage of what the school state tax rate is compared to the town. So our last tax bill, we were 55.9% of the tax bill, which is, our high has been, we've been 62.3%, our low is 52.3 back in '05. So you can see that over the last few years, our percentage of the tax bill has been going down. The blue sheet is a breakout of the two schools on the Plymouth tax rate, the impact of Plymouth Elementary School and the high school on the tax rate, so people can clearly see when they're upset about something, they can clearly see who's responsible for what. And then you have the warrant and also draft budget number 2. All right. So these will be all made available for the public and also on the website. So folks that are watching on Channel 3 can go to our website. If they want, they can download all this material and watch tonight, watch the budget hearing, listen to any questions that may come up.
Any questions from Mark? Any other business?
I'm all set, Mr. Chairman.
Privilege of the floor, too. Anyone care to speak this evening?
I just have a question.
Yeah.
In regards to the Friday that, before Labor Day. What's the reason that you take that Friday? Because for a working parent, I know that it's sort of like, oh. So I just have a question about that.
There is no reason, other than it's been tradition, that families wanted a 4-day weekend before the summer. We used to start before Labor Day, but after Labor Day, and when we moved before Labor Day, the place was packed with people complaining about that. So the compromise was that we made it a 4-day weekend, and then we've probably done that for a lot of years. But that's the history of it.
Okay. Thank you.
Well,
Sorry.
I just wanted to ask, originally, we had talked about the greenhouse being a warrant article on this year's budget to try to take advantage of the construction that was going on next door to maybe save some money, to be able to do it alongside the high school construction. We do have $60,000 raised, and we do have the $20,000 pending school budget or school board supporting that project with some funds. So I was just curious, the decision to have it not be a warrant article this year.
And that has a lot to do with the tax rate for the year. We couldn't add that in with already increase that we've seen on the tax rate. So it's one of those things that we had to look at and we had to put off for a year. Okay?
And I completely understand that. If I maybe could have figured out how to maybe reduce the cost somehow and maybe still had some money come towards it, but just a problem solved.
Okay.
Problem solved on the next
okay, Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead.
Doesn't preclude, Sarah, it doesn't preclude the board from approving a project to get going, as long as the money matches the expenditures.
Right.
Um,
Well, I think the budget right now that it says is 140.
Right.
And we've got 60, with the other 20 coming, that still's only 80.
Right.
But I think with the support of what's happening at the high school, and we still had some companies saying that they
Right.
could, some of the things would end up being donated, but it was in the budget right now, so it's so tricky to try to figure out what that magic number is.
Yeah, I guess the only thing I would highlight, that if you wanted to do the site work while the site people were next door, and it was less than your $60,000, you might be able to do that.
Yes.
The board would approve accepting the gift to offset the cost, so there would be no net effect on the tax rate.
Okay.
So that can happen.
Okay. That sounds good. Certainly want to try to take advantage of having that partnership.
Okay. What else? Okay, well, thank you. Right, entertain a motion to go in the non-public session.
So moved.
Second in favor? All right, good. Well, thank you.